In this video, we're going to give you 3 ways how you can help your friends get out of debt, as well as we're going to share with you a big red flag to be cautious of.
Hey, this is Jay and Jen from Epic Empower People, Empower Change. Thanks for joining us, where we're all about motivating, inspiring, and educating you when it comes to money so you can reach outstanding financial goals.
As well as plant-based health, because you got to take care of that body in order to spend some money, right?
Yeah. Well, you have some friends that are in debt. Like, hopefully you're done with your debt, or maybe you're on your journey and paying your stuff off, and you're really like, oh, my friends. You got to get out of debt, man. So how do you help them without making it worse, or are you enabling them more? So find out where they are when it comes to getting out of debt, because you want to motivate them according to their why.
Yes.
And you want to be able to make sure that they know that you're that friend that's going to give them resources, it's going to point them in the right direction, it's going to be there on their journey with them. Like, you're here for them. This is why I feel like debt is not your friend, and it's not doing you a favor in your life. You need to get rid of it. You're
on your journey to becoming debt free, and you want to sometimes give your friends some tips to help them out too. So first off, if they're a Christian, you gotta throw in all the plenty of scriptures in the Bible that tell us to stay clear of debt. Now, there's a lot of controversial topics out there. Some people say, oh, debt is okay, debt is not okay. But as a believer in Christ, you kind of gotta go with what God says.
And let them see how the debt is holding them back from possibly being great givers, or maybe it's causing their family to lack, or causing the stress, and help them to see the scriptures definitely do share about it. Either way, if they're believer or unbeliever, you still want to be able to help them with their goals, because that is loving your neighbor as yourself. As long as they want it, you're helping them with a goal that they want to achieve that will be better for their family, and that's what they're trying to do.
You're probably already educated about debt, and that's why you're probably trying to get out of debt at this point. So one amazing tip that people are always shocked about that you can throw in during your chat is, how much interest are you paying? A lot of times people don't even realize how much extra they're paying on those bills because of debt and credit card and all that, and loans and things like that. So that's just something that you can throw in there when you're engaging, talking with your friends who are interested in taking this debt-free journey.
Number 2. This one is very important, okay? I would highly recommend you make sure that they invest into their debt-free journey.
Yes.
Don't do everything for them. I know you love them, like a brother or sister, this family, this cousin, this whatever. This is my friend. Don't help them too much, if I can say, because we've seen people come to financial classes that have been sponsored by other people, and we've seen them not complete financial classes that have been sponsored by other people. So I'm not saying you can't help them. These are the ways I would recommend helping them. You could recommend a book to them. Books are pretty cheap, or a lot of times you can get them for free. Financial class you could recommend for them to take. Make sure they pay for it on themselves, because when people pay for things themselves, they're more invested. They're like, hey, I paid for this. I'm gonna do it. It's almost like a mom who sponsors her kids' college, and it's like, hey, you're gonna go to school, but they don't really want to go to school, they don't really want to go to college, and they get bad grades, and mom wasted her money essentially.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that, versus when somebody's paying for their own stuff. It's like, okay, I'm investing into this. I spent money on this. Let's go.
Yes, and I agree 100%. We've been in this game, financial coaching and teaching classes, for about 9 years. 9 years now, and probably 10 years now. But let me tell you, people have to put skin in the game. They got to put something in their investment in themselves. They have to sow a seed for themselves. Again, and we've seen people disappointed because they've given, and then the person doesn't show up to the class. And it's like, I'm sorry, people just don't feel like it's necessary. They have to want it, number 1. Then number 2, you got to sow that skin into the game in order to really have them be impacted or listen to what's being said. So we get your kind heart, we understand it, but trust us, a lot of times it's not going to happen with your friends if they don't pay something.
The other thing you can do to help them, if the situation is they can't afford a class, they can't afford to work with a coach, maybe you can pay partial pay.
Yes.
Pay for it partially so that they're still investing something. That's the whole point. We're trying to say, hey, let them invest some part of this, what they can do and what they feel like they're able to do. Because people pay for what they want to pay for.
Yes.
If they really want something, they'll find a way. You guys know. You already know.
You did it.
You're going to find a way to pay for something if you really want it.
Yeah.
So there is a cool story about a man who let somebody get a financial book. I think it was financial or success related. They gave him the book to read and recommended it to them. And so they gave the person the book. They follow up about a month or two later or whatever time frame it was and was like, hey, did you read the book that I gave you to read? And they were like, no, I didn't really get to it yet. And so it was like, okay, no problem. So the person who gave them the book picks up the book, turns to a certain page, pulls the $100 bill out. I think it was $100 or some monetary, something significant monetarily, and close the book, give it back to them pretty much. And it was just like, all right, you had the opportunity. Yeah. So if you would have read the book, you would have got a bonus money.
Number 3, don't just pay off their debt without some type of significant education being a part of it. It's kind of like throwing money at someone and all they're gonna do is probably waste it if you don't really take the time to invest some education in your friend. A lot of people out there think that money is a solution. Like if you throw money at people, it's gonna fix all their financial problems. No. That is one of the biggest myths out there. Just like those lotto winners who win millions and they end up broke like within 2 years because no one has actually gave them education on how to handle money and how to take care of it. So just like with your friends, definitely, we're not an advocate of, I'm gonna pay off all your debt because I got a hold of some money. No, teach them so that way they don't get themselves back into debt again. So there's just some precautions that come along with that.
And we wouldn't recommend letting them borrow money because you're gonna let them borrow money and get into debt with you to pay off debt over here. I don't think that's a good practice. So you want to teach them not to owe anybody because that's the whole purpose. Not even you, like not letting them borrow. Now, like we said, you can give them something, but I would give them something with also knowing, okay, let's talk with them. Like, okay, how'd you get in a situation? Do you really want to get out? And will this really help you? How are you educated? What did you learn, right? And you don't have to be the one working with them every day. Like I said, there's coaches like us. There are classes that person can take. Before you really give that person the money, find out how much they're invested into it.
And we know, we've taught often, we've seen it, money can actually hurt relationships. Especially if you let someone borrow a lot of money and they just don't have good money practices. You don't want to hinder your friendship over letting someone borrow money and then they don't end up paying you back. So you're on your debt-free journey, and if you truly don't have the money to be just throwing at someone and then they go waste it. So I think what's super important for me to point out is, what if your friend doesn't want to talk to you about education? Then I would question giving the money then.
Which brings us to our red flag. All right. So red flag is if they don't want to get out of debt or not interested to get out of debt. So you push them, you talk to them, you find out where they are, and at the end of the conversation, you discover that, hey, they don't really have a problem with it. They're fine with that. That is their friend. And that's how they want to live. And they're not going to be in a rush. So don't stress yourself out. Go help somebody else.
Yes.
Go help somebody else. Go help one of your other friends that wants to get out of debt.
Absolutely.
Or if you're really passionate about it, do like a post or something, like tell other people.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, you have to find out if they really want it, because like my wife said, don't just throw money at somebody when it's not that important to them. Oh, I'm going to help you do this, but they don't want the help. Because people who don't want the help, you're not helping them.
Absolutely. And that ties into the extended red flag. If you have friends that just really are ready to get out of debt, be cautious with being around them when they're talking about these luxury vacations and going to debt. I just bought a new car and I whatnot. you know, when our debt journey, I had to turn Facebook off sometimes because everybody was taking vacation, everybody was doing all this stuff, and I'm like over here eating my rice and beans. I'm like, okay, you know. But seriously, I wanted to stay encouraged. I wanted to stay focused, and thank God we did that. We stayed focused, but it took me turning off some social media so that I could stay focused. Because I was on a mission. We were on a mission, and we accomplished that mission. Thank God.
Thank God. Go ahead and leave a comment of any kind of friends experience you had with debt. That would be very fun for us to respond to. We appreciate all of you, especially those of you who have subscribed already. Mm-hmm. Make sure you subscribe so you can get more cool stuff like this, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video. Talk to them.
Yeah, as well as a lot of times you probably took your journey. I'm in the middle of recording.
Go ahead. Come on.